Okay, so common question, how much protein do you need? So we're going to explain to you exactly how much. So people actually think they need a lot more protein than they do. So protein itself is actually fairly difficult for your body to digest. So what I actually recommend is optimal for most people is 1 gram per pound of body weight. So for example, if you weigh 200 pounds, you want 200 grams of protein. So this is a pretty good rough starting point for most people. Now, what we want to think about in terms of protein. So people are like, oh, we can do intermittent fasting, we can eat all our protein in one meal, we could do 2 meals of 100 grams of protein. Like, yes, from a calorie point of view that will work. However, from an optimal point of view in your body, uptaking protein, it's not as simple as that. Your body can only take between 40 to 50 grams, actually assimilate and use at the same time, because what we're actually doing protein is we're using muscle protein synthesis to stimulate an anabolic response. Now, what we need in terms of the minimum amount of protein per sitting or serving is around 20 grams of protein per serving or meal. So we can then stimulate muscle protein synthesis, so we'll be able to do that every 2 to 3 hours. So if you're doing 100 grams of protein in one meal, you're missing out all these opportunities of throughout the day to stimulate recovery, stimulate muscle growth, because you're not getting this opportunity. So this is how much protein we recommend. 1 gram per pound is a general rough guideline. 200-pound person, 200 grams of protein. How much do you need as a minimum per meal? 20 grams of protein is the basic to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, which is the main anabolic response we're getting from protein. Now, in terms of protein sources, what do I recommend? There's a few different ones. So, I'm not necessarily big in supplements, but whey isolate is a very good way to get protein into your diet if you struggle to eat food throughout the day, you're busy with work. So, Muscle Nation whey isolate there is banging, cookies and cream flavour is the OG. Use code Charlie for 10% off. Other protein sources I like, I'm big into fish at the moment, so white fish is super easy to digest, very, very low in fat, and is an excellent source of protein. We've also got things like salmon, so this is probably the best food in nature out there, so if you can get the wild caught one, which this isn't unfortunately, salmon is a phenomenal protein source. It's obviously higher in fat and higher in calories, but it's incredibly healthy and incredibly nutrient dense. And to give you an example, if we're talking about for example, the amount of protein we'd be looking to get. So if we're looking to have around 20 grams of protein per serving, we're going to be looking to have probably about just over one of these. It's going to be around 25 to 30 grams of protein in one of these fillets. So most servings will come in that. Up after that, chicken breasts. Big fan of mini fillets. That'd be another excellent protein source. And some others I'd recommend would be things like lean steak, red meat, very, very good once or twice a day. And then also you can have things like turkey breast, eggs, egg whites. So this is a rough breakdown of how much protein you need. I recommend optimally for most people, how many meals per day do you want? I would have 4 to 5 is probably optimal. You could go up to 6, depending on your day, but optimally 4 to 5 meals per day of a minimum of 20 grams of protein. It's probably going to be optimal for most people. That's what would be a very good starting point. Protein as a macronutrient within your diet is something we keep stable across all days. It's not something we look to really reduce in a dieting phase. If you're going into growth phase, we might try and take it up to get a bit more calories in. But this is how we structure a diet in terms of using protein, how much protein I recommend. Let us know your thoughts. Hope this is helpful, and we'll see you in the next episode.